شمعة فرحة تضوي قلوب والكل غنى بأحلى طروب بالعيد.
I begin in the name of Allah, most compassionate, most merciful, and peace and blessing be upon Allah, all prophets, from Adam to Noah, to Abraham, to Moses, and Jesus and Prophet Muhammad. I offer you my greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Just few words about this class. This is not a class because classes are conducted at Yale and Princeton and Harvard, but this is a family here. And there are certain rules in this class. First of all, you don't have to be a Muslim or Christian or Jew. You have to be just what you are, okay? One of the rules of my class is that nobody will pass any kind of book or cassette or any kind of brochure. The only thing I want you to know that you are welcomed here, and unless you ask a question, we do not do any preaching. 2 years back, this is a convocation now, we can call it. We had the convocation and the theme was that why you became Muslim. Okay? And it was a very strange thing that everybody who came to the class told that they became Muslim here only because of the love they got from the class. So all we can offer you a one-way love for the sake of Allah, love for the sake of our Prophet, and nothing else. And for every new person, the journey begins at my home. And when you come to my home, I ask questions. What is the thing which is bothering you? First of all, is your car running or not? Is your health is okay or not? Your family, this is my question. And I ask them, what brings class? Then if they ask me something, then I ask the question. Now today we are very blessed to have a very important person in our class, for which I delayed the class. Her name is Dr. Shamsa, and Dr. Shamsa is a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, and she is conducting the same kind of program or classes here. So first of all, I asked Dr. Shamsa to come here with her students because they are our guests. I like my students to wait for the chief guest to come here and introduce herself and her sister who wants to speak, and then the program will start. Dr. Shamsa, you are Dr. Shama, okay, said that. So Dr. Shama, bring your girls here. Bring your sisters here.
They're coming.
Come on, okay. You have to speak from here, okay? Introduce yourself.
Right here?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Dr. Shama Rashid, and I've been invited here by Mazhar Uncle. I call him Mazhar Uncle because I've known him since I was a little girl. I was fortunate enough to actually go to University of Houston with his son, Yasser. We were classmates. Little did I know he was going to turn out to be a world-renowned scholar and a really famous person. But from the early days at University of Houston, our group of friends was a really special group. I also was fortunate enough to be able to start the Muslim Students Association at the University of Texas Medical School, where I attended med school residency and my postdoctoral fellowship. My specialty, I chose psychiatry. I'm actually a board-certified pediatric psychiatrist as well, so I'm also an expert on child and adolescent psychiatry, meaning child rearing and everything to do with the family. It kind of was a culmination for me turning this into dawah work. I've always had an interest in dawah from a very young age. And just a little bit about myself so you can understand where my background is. I was actually born in Canada, but I was fortunate enough to be able to be raised all over the world. I grew up in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, Qatar. I went to boarding school in London and found my way back to the United States. I currently am working as an inpatient and outpatient psychiatrist. I'm the medical director at Kingwood Pines Hospital. So if, God forbid, any of you ever need a psychiatrist and have to go inpatient or have family members or friends, send them over to me up north. At least you know that you have a sister that'll take good care of them. I also have a private practice in Pearland, close to Hobby Airport. So my journey towards dawah, which I've always used Mazhar Uncle as an inspiration for me because I've known for over 20 years now that he's worked with the Muslim community to bring new Muslims to the faith. And my journey was very interesting because I started having it happen in my home. The lady that was helping me raise my children one day came up to me and said, I love the peace that you have in your home. how do you raise your kids the way that you do? I was fortunate enough, my daughter is actually here today. She just graduated from Iman Academy in Southeast Houston, which is a full-time Islamic school, and is attending also the University of Houston, where I graduated from. But she said, you have peace in your home. How do I get some of that? How do I raise my daughter in that? And so, lo and behold, I found myself going to find, looking for a Hispanic community where she could learn Islam from. And I found Islam in Spanish, and I went to their Sunday class so that she could accept Islam in Ramadan last year. And found that there were several students there that were interested. And we just went out for lunch to kind of celebrate the fact that she had become Muslim. And through that, I said, you know what, I've always had 4 keys to happiness, which I've always used faith-based therapy. Not keys to happiness, sorry, keys to contentment. And those are physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, and intellectual health. So the physical body, the emotional health, the intellectual health, and the spiritual health. And it's actually a 4-pronged approach to treatment that I use in my therapy-based practice, where I prescribe medications as well as give therapy, but it really comes from the core principles of Islam. And I decided that I would invite this group of students who are interested in learning about Islam to my home, and started doing the very thing that Mazhar Uncle was doing. And having grown up in the community, my mother said, you know what, you need to go meet Mazhar Uncle and see what he's doing. So we've decided to collaborate. I'm very excited to be here. I have a small group of Muslims. We've had about 11 people accept Islam in the past year, so I'm a baby teacher. But it says, if you have an atom of knowledge, just share it. My basis for teaching is very similar to Dr. Kazi's. It is that Islam is really here to teach us character traits. The rituals that we do, the dogmatic principles that we follow, whether it be fasting, praying, things like that, are just there really to support and provide lattice work for your character. Character meaning, how are you a good friend? What does it mean to be loyal? What does it mean to have your word mean something? Remember that Islam was spread through character. And that's really what I try to teach in my classes. Yes, there are many places where you could learn how to, pray salah properly, do your fasting, but I'm really here to teach the core principles of human character and development. And that's where I think that my class is really open to any of y'all who are interested as well. I do a very intimate dinner. My cooking's not great, but I do a very intimate dinner every Tuesday at 7:30 in my home, and it is a small little family. I am going to have a couple of my students come up in a little bit and share their stories about how they came to Islam, but just to let you know that I think that you have to be a living testament. So some of my students are my personal trainer, the guy who did the remodeling in my house, my nanny, my housekeeper, just people that live around me, and they get the love and the same love and respect that all of my friends and family do. So I absolutely agree with Mazhar Uncle that people come to Islam by seeing the example and character of Muslims. So I'm so honored to be here. If you have any questions about the classes that I offer or anything else, please feel free to contact me. I'm easy to reach, and thank you so much. Thank you. The best way to contact me is probably through my email, which is going to be shamarmd@yahoo.com. That's SHAMA. R like Robert, M like medical, D like doctor, @yahoo.com. But doctors, we're kind of servants of the state, so you can just probably Google my name and find lots of contact numbers. Thank you so much.
I will not like to talk too much today, but I'm waiting for, okay, since our guests are coming here, I'll start with the youngest sister in my class. Her name is Regina, and Regina will come here and she will tell you how to read Al-Fatiha in Arabic. And don't pass any judgment because she has been Muslim only for a few weeks, and I want you to come here and start the program by reciting Al-Fatiha.
هديت قلبي شكرا نورت دربي شكرا شكرا يا رب يا منزل القرآن.
All right, thank you for that introduction. I'm going to do my best here. So I've been a Muslim since April 23rd, and it's been an amazing thing that happened to me. It's something that I felt inside of my heart. It's not something that I did for anybody but myself. I just started learning, coming to Dr. Kazi's class, asking questions, getting the knowledge getting the answers, and that's all I really needed. And I'm lucky enough that I feel like God chose me to become into the Islamic community. So it's been amazing. It's definitely something I'm active in. I feel like it's a constant interest that I have, and I don't see it ever leaving. I know sometimes people can battle with prior religions that they might have had beliefs in, but I was fortunate enough to have an open choice, thanks to my parents. So, right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. First time I've done that, so thank you. And that's how we're going to start the Eid celebration. So, Eid Mubarak, everyone. Almost.
هذا ما تمناه.
Try to understand this is family. And okay, now the very first person that I'm going to invite is something that you should know. This is a man who came to my class, and then I invited him for dinner, and he had dinner for 1 or 2 times, then he disappeared for about 10 years. And one day he came to my class and he started talking. I said, Robert, you're talking like a Muslim. He said, yes, I've become Muslim. I said, how? The story that Robert said about being a Muslim, he's very shy, but I will tell you the story. The story he said is that when you go to the chapter 30th, the chapters are very small. You will see there is a certain pattern when the Quran is written. And by the way, he said, when I wanted to learn Quran, I wanted to learn the Arabic language. So he learned Arabic language. And he told me that if you read a chapter, you will see certain verses end in T. There's 4 or 5 verses will end in N, 4 or 5 verses will end in O. So in that way, Robert told me, these are the chips of the mosaic. And then when you put the chips together, there becomes an image that is impossible for a man to make. He said, this is something that a man could not make it, so he became a Muslim. So I have never read Quran in this way, that you see the words, 3, 4 verses make one chip, another chip. And I'm very blessed by Allah that he is one of my friends. Come on, Robert. Don't be too humble. Robert has traveled the whole world coming here.
Thank you, Dr. Kazi.
Everyone has 5 to 7 minutes, please.
Well, I'm not used to this. They say when you start a talk that you should start with a joke, but I don't have any jokes. I would just like to say that. In my many years of coming to the East Side Masjid, I have the greatest respect and love for everybody here. I do have to make one slight correction to Dr. Kazi's comments. I became Muslim in 1989, and the way it began was I was at the University of Texas in the Middle Eastern Studies Center, and one day I was walking down an aisle in the local bookstore, and I saw something in Arabic, and I said, that looks interesting. So I took it off the shelf and bought it and took a class in it. And took 2 years of Arabic classes, and then I was at the stage where all of a sudden, I could start looking at the Quran. Now, I had studied the Quran for some time out of my academic interests in English. That doesn't really help a whole lot. Once I was able to read the Quran bil Arabiya, now that was a revelation. That was stunning. As I said to Dr. Kazi at one time, it was like a diamond. It was really amazing. And I said, doesn't anybody understand what the heck they're doing when they try to study the Quran in English? They need to study it bil Arabiya. So I found myself in Houston, and I walked into the door of the East Side Masjid. Didn't know anybody. I did not know any Muslims. Not a single person. I simply walked in the door and said, I'd like to participate and learn how to be a Muslim.
1 second.
Okay, so I was already reading the Quran in Arabic when I first walked in the door. And that is what sparked my interest, and that's how I came to the East Side Masjid, and I asked to start participating. Met Dr. Kazi. Dr. Kazi very quickly introduced me to people, made me feel very comfortable, and showed me how to do salat and all of that. And by 1989, in the spring, I took Shahada right here at the East Side Masjid. For some time, I attended the East Side Masjid, but of course, I was married, children, business, all sorts of things, and I had to go overseas and do various things. So yes, I do tend to disappear for a while, but I always come back. In relation to what Dr. Kazi has said about the Quran, this, I guess, is the whole point of my conversion, which was that I didn't know any Muslims. I had never met any Muslims. It was the Quran that brought me in the door once I was able to read it in Arabic. I love language, and in my opinion, I wrote down a couple of things here about it. I just might read these off. I think the Quran can only be truly appreciated in Arabic. The sound, I think, is part of the meaning. I think Arabic itself is unique among languages. I've studied many languages. Currently, I'm studying Russian right now, but I always think of Arabic as the queen of languages, you might say. It's the ultimate linguistic experience. Arabic is the perfect linguistic vehicle for the Quran's message. The Quran has secondary rhythms, I believe, tertiary rhythms that are not immediately apparent. I think true Arabic speakers probably know this better than me. I think the best prose is also poetry, and Al-Quran al-Karim is prose and poetry at the same time. It's a mosaic of sound, color, and poetry, and I think this is deliberate. It's so that Allah's message will be appreciated by all, including non-Muslims. Here's an interesting thing that happened. Of course, we all know the recitations of the Quran on YouTube. They're very, very beautiful. 2 years ago, I was asked to give a talk on Islam by a local church. And I went there, and they insisted that I play YouTube service for them. So I played these for the church, and the church greatly enjoyed it. So in other words, even people who don't understand Arabic appreciate the recitations. They understand that the Quran is something very special. Well, I think that about does it. That pretty much covers why I walked in the door and why I come back.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Dr. Kazi.
Very much blessed to him and Dr. Shamas. I would like to invite you.
If I can have Kiara come up, she has a few words to share with us about her story.
Tell us what change took place in your life after taking Shahada. Or you tell us your journey to Islam, but take 5 to 7 minutes, okay? Come here, please, okay? These are our guests, so we will have to make some sacrifice for them.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Kiara, and I converted a little over a year ago, and I was pursuing my undergraduate degree at the University of Houston downtown. And there was this guy that Allah put in my path to introduce me to the idea of Islam, because prior to him, I didn't know any Muslims. I didn't know about their religion. So fast forward, it ended with him, and my parents were also going through a divorce. So that was basically like the rock bottom of my undergraduate period. I was very depressed. I didn't want to seek to temporary alternatives. I wanted to have a stronger foundation in my religion. So I should mention that I did grow into Catholicism, And I did my first communion. I was baptized, but it never really, like, the people weren't very inviting. It didn't connect with me. So in high school, I decided to go to a Christian church. I had a lot of Christian friends, and it was a good time. We were worshiping, we were singing, I felt very cleansed. The only thing that didn't work with me, or that I didn't agree with, was the worshiping of Jesus. Whenever I would sing and worship, it would be to God. But I couldn't connect with other people at that level. So once it came time for me to look into another religion, after my parents' divorce and after I got over the breakup, I decided to look into Islam. And it was ironic that I saw a commercial at Univision 45, and it was a feature of Islam in Spanish, the center called Islam in Spanish. And I went by myself. My parents, of course, weren't very welcoming of the idea of me converting to another religion. So I didn't tell them. I just went by myself. And alhamdulillah, the people were so inviting, so non-judgmental, and there were a lot of Hispanic people. So it felt right. It felt like I was doing the right thing. And I kept going. And on the fourth visit, I took Shahada. And it was a great moment. After that, every Sunday, I would go to the classes in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, I would volunteer with the women in the center. And so that was exactly what I needed in my depressive state. And thank God that's what happened. After that, I go to Islamic classes hosted by Dr. Rashid every single week, once a week. And these classes are more so to work on how to be a better Muslim. So we have a topic that the class is going to be about, and then we have verses from the Quran, and we integrate these two. And it's just a very great way to it's what we call to have like a spiritual detox. And so I'm just working on trying to be a better person at the moment. Thank you.
I will alternate her guest in my student, okay? In my class, half of the persons are born Muslims, and it's very strange for me that there's a family that travels 200 miles every week to come to my class. I told her that I would like you to come to me to the podium, because being a Muslim, traveling 200 miles every week is not an easy job. So I asked for her to come back and tell her the reason why she'll come to this class after making such a big sacrifice. And by the way, Farah and I will be in Jannah together. You should know that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So good to see our new sisters and brothers and some of the ones that we haven't seen in a while. And why do we travel 200 miles every week? This is for the love of Allah. I call it the labor of love. But just to be somebody was saying to start with a joke, I always tell somebody asks me that, how do you make this journey every week? I say it's the perfect time. You get in the car when my husband is, we just start a conversation, you pick a fight. By the time you get off here, you're already made up and everything, you're happy, and okay, let's go inside now. So anyway, I just want to let you all know that we are here for the love of Allah. And my family is that my wonderful husband, Asan, I don't think so if he would have ever taken this initiative to make a commitment every week to come here. I don't think so. Yeah, being a wife, I like to call myself submissive, my wife. I don't know how much submissive I am when you ask him. But, there is so much a wife can do. But if the husband is Quranically and Islam encourage that the guy is supposed to be the head of the household. And, if he was not going to lead us in this direction, I don't think so I could have done it for this long. And we have two wonderful sons, Nabil and Amar. It's a long story. How did we end up in Dr. Kazi's class? We don't have time for that. Today it was a very thin thread that brought us here, and we have been coming for the last 5-6 years. And that has totally changed our lives. So I'm just going to go through some bullet points real quick. Honestly, my family can do like a whole weekend seminar, what this class has done for us. But what we have learned in this class through the association of all the brothers and sisters here, that put Allah first and don't live your life in compartments. I have heard of this principle long time ago, but it was not ingrained in my mind. And since we have, really you have to do it. If you don't do it, you're naturally not doing it. You have to make yourself to do it. But that has changed our life. And Islam is that more than rituals, like somebody else was saying. And it's where you put Allah in your heart. And what do you do for society? And Dr. Kazi always gives the definition of worshipping Allah is being a productive member of society. That's what it is, not living your life in compartments. Just open yourself to others. We have also learned that who is a mu'min and the importance of social obligations, which is ihsan. And if you have been coming to Dr. Kazi's class, he has stamped it in all of our hearts. And at one point when I was teaching some kids, I taught them, I said, listen, you need to stamp it in your heart. So if I call you 2 o'clock in the morning and I wake you up from your deep sleep and I ask you, Amir, what does ihsan mean? I expect you that in your sleep you're going to just give me the definition of it, what is ihsan. And Dr. Kazi and Sister Alia has taught and shown us the difference between being a Mu'min and a Muslim. Dr. Kazi said that I was born in Pakistan, me and my husband, we were in wonderful families, have awesome parents, went to all Islamic schools and stuff, but I think we have gotten more awareness of Islam coming to this class than living, than being raised in a Muslim household. Ahsan and I were brought up in a Muslim household which was influenced by culture. Dr. Kazi and Sister Alia has helped us unlearn some of the cultural aspects of Islam and brings many of the vague concepts to a practical level. We have learned what the meaning of trusting Allah is and how important thanking Allah is in all situations rather than complaining and being impatient. And as a married couple, I can vouch for that. We have learned our roles. And for me, Sister Alia is a perfect role model for me as a wife. Whatever chance we get to spend around them, I always tell her that. And I hope that you will never get bored, just me telling this again and again and again, that how wonderful role model you are for me. I sit and watch her.
What about me?
You're my father, you're my big brother. That's why, when my husband, due to his work, he travels a lot, and I know when he gets these, what's the word for that? When he doesn't see Dr. Kazi for a while.
Cravings.
Yes, the cravings. So we make a special to Dr. Kazi. I always call him and say, Dr. Saab, we need to come. I need to spend time with you. So we make special trips during the middle of the week just to come and sit with them in their feet. And that's just, just learn from them. But real quick, I need to finish it up, I know. The Association of Dr. Kazi, Sister Alia, and this class has taught us how to fulfill our lifelong dream of going to Hajj. And you have to work towards it. It's just not a desire is not enough. I'm telling you, when we came, Dr. Kazi said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go for Hajj. And he asked me, what are you doing for that? We couldn't answer. We didn't know what to do. And this was in our, this is a famous hadith. Dr. Kazi always says that if I don't make a mistake of saying that the fate has been written, the ink has been dried, and the pens have been lifted. Yeah, it was in our fate to go for Hajj, but what were we doing just to make that dream come true for us? The class has built a desire in us to live our lives for others and not just for ourselves. And Allah has opened doors for us to do that. It could be anything, and I'm not bragging. We are doing it on a very small scale. This could be anything like building wells, helping orphanages, whatever you want to do. Now we understand the meaning of taking our eyes off of ourselves and putting them on others. And this can be done in so many ways and so many levels, and your life doesn't have to be perfect before helping others. That's what Dr. Kazi talked about. Dig deep in your pocket. Dig deep. Should I go and there's a sale at the mall for the ladies, should I go buy a new purse because everybody is carrying that purse? Or can I still carry my 5-year-old purse and go and help somebody else out there? This is called dig deep. Take eyes off of yourself. The bonds of friendship we have created in this class are priceless. There are a bunch of my brothers here, and if I start naming names, I don't want to offend anybody just by forgetting one name, or my sisters here. I have come to them if I have a question, and I know when I come to them in confidence, they're going to treat me like their younger sister. They're going to treat my sons, look up to them as their uncles and aunties, and this is an awesome feeling to have. The opportunities we have gotten to associate with people like Dr. Kazi, Sister Alia, their sons, and one of my very special sister, Dina, she's sitting right here, is priceless. I could have never dreamed of being in her presence. Sister Dina has opened the door for me that nobody could have ever opened, and this is all due to Dr. Kazi and Sister Alia, because they guided me towards her. And one last thing is that our sons have become better moment than us, and often inspired us with their actions and words. And coming to this class, associating with Dr. Kazi, has changed our lives for the better. Our children are better moment than us, and we could have never done it on our own power. When people tell us how good of a man our sons are, we give the credit first to Allah and then to this class. Because, they are not teenagers anymore. They are 23, 26. They have their own life too. But I commend them that every week, they are the first one who jump in the car and then, are excited to come here. And many of you, brothers and sisters, don't think that we don't think about you all, we don't keep you in our prayers. Believe me, just one last thing. When we talk about you guys as if you're a part of our family, when Dr. Kazi says it's a family, it is a family. Like Dr. Kazi, Sister Alia, we talk about them. Not only pray for them, but when we are sitting around the dining table, when we are chatting, when we are thinking about the vision we see what this class is going to do, or this class has done, or where this, we all are going forward in our future. We talk about you all, we name you all. We want all you to be with us. And this has, like I said, we could have done a whole weekend seminar on this, how this class has changed my life. So just like you said, I remember meeting you. I don't think so you remember me. I met you once at Eid, after Eid prayers, and you were talking to Sister Alia, and I was standing next to her, and you were crying, and you were just telling her how Brother Yasser has changed your life, and that was the time when you were just getting to know them. And now I feel the same way. What they have done for us, we could not, have dreamed of, getting that kind of wisdom and association. So yes, Dr. Kazi, Sister Alia, you guys have changed our lives. And I can't wait to be in Jannah with you, inshallah, along with all of you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
تقال العثار العظام به ويغدو الهوى ككبش.
I'd like to call on a very young member of this group today, Iman Taliban.
I would like you to be very sure that every moment that you are spending here is counted as a worship. You're not wasting time here. This is worship to remember.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I want to start off by saying that I wasn't really prepared. I kind of was told to come speak up last minute, so this is going to be kind of short and sweet, but I'm just going to really try to explain my experience so far with dawah work. So starting off with a little about me, I was born into a loving and practicing Muslim family. I recently just graduated from Islamic school at 16, and I'm excited to be starting college soon. Growing up, I've always been surrounded by my Muslim friends and my Muslim family and my Muslim community. So I've never really been able to stop and think and truly think about how blessed I am to be born Muslim. And I never really realized this until after my mom decided to start her dawah classes in our house. It has been an amazing and beautiful experience being able to watch these students find Islam and see their hearts open right in front of my eyes. I can truly say that one of the most breathtaking and amazing experiences I've ever seen is watching these students take Shahada in our own living room, and I can't even begin to explain how much blessing that has brought into my life and my family's lives and everyone else around us. I can truly say that I'm so lucky and blessed to be able to be a part and to help other people come to our beautiful and our perfect religion of Islam. And I'm so thankful to Allah for letting me be able to have this amazing opportunity to help bring more people into our religion and to help show people the true path. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to tell you a little bit. Before I became a mother, one of the reasons I became a child psychiatrist is because when I had her, I really wanted to know everything there was about parenting. And I made a very sincere dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I made a very sincere dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when I do, if you bless me with a child, it's not just enough for me with the basic knowledge I have of Islam to have her be a practicing Muslim. My dua for both of my children, my son is also here in the audience, he's 11, was for them to be Muslim leaders in the Muslim community. And my biggest desire was what the brother had said earlier, was for them, because we are not Arab, was for them to be able to understand the Quran on their own, as a book without having to look at a translation. And so my entire journey and my entire quest for my daughter Iman has been, since she was born, was to learn and understand the Arabic language and the Quranic Fusha Arabi so that she could do that. So alhamdulillah, it's been a journey of 16 years of training, inshallah. I just wanted to tell all of you, if you're having children or thinking of having children in the future, set that as a goal for yourselves. And my entire journey in my life, and I will tell you, has been in the search of trying to find the right environment to raise her in. In fact, I moved to Dubai so that I could have her go and learn Arabic, which didn't happen. So I came back here and I learned, just like the sister was saying earlier, that I found Islam in the United States of America, and I found Arabic in the United States of America, and I found the best understanding of the Quran in the United States of America, which is why I came back and I actually moved near the Islamic school so that my children would have a Muslim community. So these are sacrifices that I made. I always call it my hijrah from the United States to Dubai and back to the Clear Lake community, looking for a school and environment to raise my kids. So think about that. We all have our professions, we all have our priorities, but your priority as Muslims, if you are going to have children and for yourself, is to surround yourself with the right type of people and the right type of friends to help you foster that growth. So that's my only piece of advice for future parents or current parents.
I'm enjoying this thing, and I suppose that you should know that don't measure in terms of time, because every moment that you're spending here is Allah's counting. We have one sister in our class, when she talks, touches the heart, touches my heart. So her name is Sonia. Okay? So Sonia will come and tell her what she got out of this class. Okay? Very mature, very intelligent, very wise girl.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm not sure I can live up to that, but I will try. My name is Sonia Chen. I've been Muslim now about 30 years. I'm a convert. I converted when I was a teenager, a little younger than the young lady who just spoke a few minutes ago. And when I thought about my talk today, I thought about when you have something new, such as buying a new car, getting a new dress, buying a piece of jewelry. It looks so shiny. You buy a new car, it has that new car smell. You don't want it to get rid of that smell. You wash it every day. You don't want a speck of dust on it. You stand back and you admire it. And that's how you feel when you take your Shahada. You feel like, oh, this is my new faith. This is my new home. You stand back. You admire it. But what happens after you've been Muslim 30 years? Sometimes some dust does come on that new car. And what do you do to get rid of that dust? To get rid of those little specks, those little dents? One of the things you do is surround yourself by believing people and those who take the Shahada, who are looking at their new car, their new faith. So for me, as a veteran Muslim of 30 years, coming to this class and seeing the joy and the twinkling in someone's eyes when they take their Shahada, I want to go home and dust off my old car, my Deen, and say, yes, my Deen is still shining too. And yes, it still smells like a new car if I just take the time and smell it. Dr. Sharma, she mentioned about character building. And this is what I think of this class. When I tell people that I go to this class, they say, but you're not a new Muslim. Why do you go to this class? And what is this class about? How to make wudu, 5 salats a day, and, fasting. I says, oh no, we don't ever talk about rituals and practices. We talk about how to be a good human being. The first step to being a good Muslim is just being a good human being. And for me, what this class has done is strengthen my character in all aspects of my life, as Farah said about not compartmentalizing. So for example, one of the things I do, because I've come to this class, is when I'm driving to work, I say Alhamdulillah. Most people, when they're going to work, they're like, another work day, my boss is going to get on my nerves, so forth and so on. And I say, Alhamdulillah, I have a job that I enjoy. I'm a teacher. I love my students. I love what I teach. Alhamdulillah. And then when I leave, I say, Alhamdulillah. Another trick that I've learned from this class, Sister Farhar was talking about how it's improved her marriage. A trick that Dr. Kazi taught me, he says when you're having an argument with your husband, the first thing you do is make a cup of tea. And that's what I do. My husband and I could be having a big battle, and in the middle of the argument I'll say, would you like a cup of tea, dear? And he just looks at me like, okay, yeah, I want some tea, sure. Cream, sugar, honey, okay, guess what? The argument is over, because now we're sipping and having a cup of tea. But I learned that from Dr. Kazi. I also learned from Dr. Kazi and this class is that Islam is not just looking like a Muslim. It is acting like a Muslim and serving your community, whoever that community is, whether they're Muslim or not, atheist or not, but serving the community. So I think about that all the time, and to try to make sure that I understand, and this is what this class does for me, is remind me why Allah put me on this earth. And the reason we are all on this earth is to worship Allah and serve Allah. And for that I feel honored to be in this class, just honored to see all the new Muslims, the old Muslims, those in the middle, and hear some of our young brothers sometimes give the lecture. I'm always pleased when I see young people talk about Allah. Then you feel like you have hope, and I'm thinking, okay, these are the future leaders of America. Maybe there will be some Social Security still left when I become old, that they will care about the elders because they have a sense of morality in their heart. So my advice to everyone, as much as you can, surround yourself with good, believing people, and you will grow leaps and bounds. You won't even recognize it. All aspects of your life will improve. And my life has totally improved from this class, and I am very fortunate because I don't have a Muslim biological family. I am the only Muslim in my family, 30 years still. But this is my Muslim family coming to the masjid, and it just means so much to me. Thank you.
Is Brother James here? I was supposed to talk, you are supposed to be speaking. Come on. Why are you hiding, man? What is supposed to... And I didn't see you. Here is Mr. Wonder, okay. One second. Take some pictures of the audience also. Sure.
Assalamu alaikum. So I came to Dr. Kazi's class about 7 years ago, and I didn't know any other Muslims. I had become interested in Islam in talking to somebody online about praying, and I tried praying by myself, and I found that I got something out of it. So I wanted to learn more, and I emailed a bunch of mosques and stuff, and the only person that responded was Dr. Kazi. So I came to his class on Sunday afternoon, and I think that very first Sunday I saw that this is where I wanted to be, and I took Shahada at them. And so out of that, and I didn't even, like, so many things have happened since then, but really, the brother was sharing about reading the Quran in Arabic, and that was one of the things that, I had been reading translations of the Quran for, a couple of years, and, I just really wanted to know what the experience was of, when I had first converted, I'd pick up the actual Quran and look at it, and it didn't mean anything to me. It was just lines and dots and stuff. So one day at the end of class, after Dr. Kazi's class, I turned around and asked Brother Mahmoud, who's way in the back, would you teach me Arabic? And he said yes. And and just out of that started like a weekly class after Dr. Kazi's class where he would sit with people and teach them Arabic, just going through letter by letter and the alphabet and, from words. And so, I always appreciate Mahmoud, who I love for the sake of Allah. Thank you. And then, the other thing, I guess what's come up for me recently is, I still have, I'm the only person in my family who's, a Muslim, so I still have lots of friends and people in my life who are not Muslim, and especially at work and places like that. So, it comes up, it's not like a woman that's wearing a hijab or something where it's obvious that you're a Muslim, so people really don't. But there come times when, I'm going out to dinner or something, and they kind of pick up like, hey, how come you never eat, this meat, or how come are you a vegetarian? Like they think I'm vegetarian because I won't eat not halal meat. And so that opens up these conversations about me being Muslim and, explaining halal and things like that. And that was always like even after I'd converted, that was something that I was a little bit afraid of. How do non-Muslims react to me being Muslim? And alhamdulillah, I guess I just put my trust in Allah, and I've been sharing that more with my non-Muslim friends. And it's worked out. I mean, they've actually been open to, not open to converting, but open to, my experience and my spirituality and accepting of me as a Muslim. And to the point where now, if we go out to dinner, they're saying, hey, can we go to Halal Guys or M&M Grill? And I'm like, okay, yeah. It's their suggestion, not my suggestion. So, I guess, alhamdulillah, I guess what's happened for me is I keep putting my trust in Allah, and things have kind of opened up for me. And so, Dr. Kazi and Mrs. Kazi and Mahmoud, I pray for them every day, and I love them for the sake of Allah. And so, thank you for this class, and thank you for all that you've provided.
Well, the person that I'm going to call now is one of the intellectuals, and then he will talk in a very academic way, and this is Dr. Cecilia. So be very patient because she is very intellectual in the class, but talks very slowly. I'll ask her to talk loudly. Come from the other side. Very shy girl and very timid girl, mashallah. Dr. Cecilia is teaching at the community college.
So I won't go over my story today of how I came into Islam, but I will begin properly as I should. Assalamu alaikum. And I will say briefly how I met Dr. Kazi and Mrs. Alia. And that was after I became a Muslim in September of 2015. Actually, because of a student who was in a class of mine. I was teaching a class in summer school, and so in some ways she was my messenger. And it turns out that she and I still keep in touch today, and she's very near and dear to me. But at the same time, I was also trying to learn about Islam after I became a Muslim. I was trying to expand my knowledge and watching lots of YouTube videos. But then I was very privileged to meet Dr. Kazi and Mrs. Ali at ICNA, which was a conference. It's a yearly conference for those of you who may not know. And it's a wonderful and wide-ranging conference that occurs every Thanksgiving, I believe, and I highly recommend it. But in any event, I met them right after the last lecture that was given, And I was very privileged because I had heard of Dr. Kazi. In fact, of his class, I had gone to the website for River Oaks Masjid, and I had planned that I would be coming to this class, but for some reason or another, I was always busy with school and work and so on and so forth. So as he often says, when a new Muslim comes to his class, the journey begins in my home, and this is very true because the first thing that I must say about Dr. and Mrs. Kazi is that they offer their love and care to every person who walks through the door in class. And I was very privileged because he opened his heart and his home to me. And he's done that with with everyone else I have privilege of knowing through this class. And the other I suppose the other wonderful outcome of this is that he is the kind of person who, when you go to his home, sorry, I feel like someone's talking in my ear, and I know it's not. Anyway, the other outcome of this is that he puts ideas in simple terms that anyone can understand. So he does not bring you, knowledge about Islam in ways that are esoteric and obscure. These are very simple messages. And he is someone who I admire because of his intellectual knowledge, but also because he is someone who loves for the sake of Allah. He and his wife both love for the sake of Allah. And so when one goes to their home, they open their heart and they are kind and generous. And these are exactly the kinds of values, the kinds of traits that we must have in our society today. Unfortunately, it's easy to get caught up in our lives, and I know this because it happens to me every semester when I have to teach another 5 classes, and I work on my own scholarship, and I know that that we all get very wound up in our work and in our everyday obligations. And yet, I think it's wonderful to emphasize that this class is an undiscovered jewel in many ways, because the name Islam 101 suggests we're going to be learning about Salat and maybe wudu and that kind of thing. And these are very important aspects of the religion, of course, but really that's a misnomer. Islam 101, it should be called a lifelong journey or excellence in lifelong Islamic learning. I don't know, but I think that that's something to emphasize about the class, is that every time you come to this class, you will learn something new. You will learn a new kernel of knowledge, even though it may not be something that you hear on YouTube or in one of those other classes, and there are many classes on YouTube on all kinds of aspects of the deen. But in this class, you take a nugget of information every time you come, and if you listen and if you open your heart, then you learn about living a good life and living a life of dignity and productivity. Because in order to be a Muslim, in order to be God-fearing, in order to have taqwa, you have to begin by having a good character, by having a good spiritual foundation, and by understanding that one is here to live a productive life, and that one is here to serve Allah, to perform ibadah, whether that means being a teacher, being a police officer, being a doctor, being an intellectual. One must use one's abilities to serve Allah and thereby to serve fellow human beings. And so the class, I mean, I could go on for hours talking about how the class has influenced and had an impact on me personally. But I can say, but I will just try to sum things up to talk about the idea of ihsan very quickly. The idea of ihsan, which Dr. Kazi has mentioned to us in class throughout the years. And that is to do more than is expected of you. And to expect less, even though you may have many high expectations, and to do it with a smile. And I might just to draw it into my own personal life, because I'm speaking in abstractions, and I know these are all high ideas. And I'm a teacher by trade, so I know that there are times when my students in my 8 o'clock class are not exactly awake. And or maybe they're sitting there chatting on their phones, or I don't know, texting. It's a lost battle. You know, that's my jihad. But such is life. But I know that when they come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, it is a new day. And truly, I give it my best. I give it my best because those are all human beings. And they may not major in English, they may not care one whit about English or writing properly or capitalizing and, beginning letters correctly and so on and so forth. But I know that those students are the future of Houston, the future of the United States, the future of the world. I don't want to break into Whitney Houston here, but I'm just saying that they truly represent new hope, and they represent what we can make of them, the best of humanity. And of course, I know that we can always refer to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who brought people to the way of Islam and invited them to the way of Islam in a gentle manner. And so I'm reminded of this in my own teaching every day when I have to deal with students who may be reticent and may not want to learn, may not want to be there. But I have to show them that I want to be there for them, and that I'm there to give them hope that things will be better. So that is, for me, a privilege to teach. And so, to bring it back to this class, it may not be the case that you will come to this class and learn about what Tirmidhi said, or maybe you will, or Abu Huraira, or Bukhari, perhaps. You may not get into all the details, all the intricacies and the beautiful intricacies, and there are such beautiful intricacies in the way of, in the deen, and in the intellectual lineage of Islam. But before we get there, we have Dr. Kazi and Mrs. Alia, who, through their efforts and through the way they bring the class together, through the way they lead by example and teach, then more of us come to Islam and maintain our relationship not only to fellow human beings, but to Allah. And this is the reason for our being here. And so one final thing for Dr. Kazi. I do appreciate everything you say in this class, and I take it as something, as advice that is very deeply meant. And I know that when you give advice, that I know that there are many years of experience behind it, and I know that it is wise. I may not understand that when you give me the advice. I may not understand its full complexity, but I know that it comes with many years of experience through so much that you have been through. And for you, Mrs. Alia, I want to thank you also for your quiet leadership. Your smile and your hugs are very, very special to me. And I want you to know that you are both also in my prayers every day, as are the fellow students in our class. So please let me just thank you, close here, and I hope that all of us will be blessed for coming here for the sake of Allah, for the love of Allah, and for reaching out to each other. Thank you.
Well, I'd like you to take a deep breath, stretch your neck, because I have 10 minutes tomorrow to go, okay? If you want to take a breath, just take some breath. Now, I want to share one of my experience, very, very good or very bad, okay? It's very common for me to find a soulmate, and then after finding a soulmate, I perform the marriage, and the moment I perform the marriage, I lose that girl, okay? But I still I'll find a soulmate for you. But it's my practice that once I find a soulmate, I lose that girl. But there's one girl, she did not lose, I did not lose her. And she and I will always be in Jannah together. Her name is Dina. And Dina is Miss Wonder. I want Dina to come here for a second because I said one thing in the class and I'm asking one thing to all of you. What sacrifice you have made in your life for the love of Allah? What sacrifice you have made in your life for the love of Allah? That is my question to you. And Dina is a living example here that she led me to the path that I could do some sacrifice for the love of Allah. But Dina talks the whole lot. But Dina, I'll give you 5 minutes. Come forward. Because when she talks because she has done so much of work, and you will not believe what kind of lady she is. She is Miss Wonder. And then I'm very blessed to have. Just let her tell you a little what she's doing, okay?
Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Kazi, for that introduction. Yeah, I do talk too much, but I'm going to talk only 5 minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I always tell my son, you wouldn't be here if it was not for Brother Kazi. They say, why, Mom? I said, because Brother Kazi got you and your dad married. So that's why you were born. And that's why you are here. Okay, his expertise are dawah, and we know that 7 different kind of people would be under the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. And each one of you, inshallah, would be under that throne, because what I see here, the love for the sake of Allah. That's what he taught me. And my other unsung hero is Sister Alia. Actually, I always tell her that I'm going to hold on to your scarf so hard that you pull me to the sirat, and then I will end up on the other side, the Jannah. So that's my unsung hero. Thanks to Brother Kazi and Sister Alia. But my field is the social development. I'm not good at dawah, but it also started with Dr. Kazi. I met him 37 years ago. This masjid didn't even have these beautiful carpets and buildings. We had a curtain between the man and the woman, and we would sit on the woman's side and peek through the curtain what's going on in the men's section. So that's when I met him. He got me and my husband married, but over the period of the time, every time I erred, that means I've been a bad girl to my husband, Sister Alia straightened me up. So thank to Sister Alia for that. I'm still married with my same husband, mashallah, with 3 boys. Thank you so much, Brother Kazi. We started our first well in India, which is a very backward state, which is called Uttar Dinajpur. We started with 1 well. When we started, we had to sell our abayas and do garage sale to raise the money. Mashallah, we made now so far, no bragging, 50 plus well. Thanks to Farah and many of your student, Dr. Kazi, that they contributed towards it. And not just the well, we are involved with 5 orphanages. Dr. Kazi himself built like 2 of the orphanages. There are like 55 orphan girls lives in one of the orphanages. As you know, maybe you watch the Indian news sometimes, that the 4,000 villages are underwater right now. There's a flood. The houses in India are built with mud and haze on the roof. So when 3 of the dam broke, the river water came in and totally dissolved these villages. So we are working day and night towards this cause right now. And we are also in the process of building another orphanage. Some of my orphan girls, they are taking shelter in the schools, because the schools are a little bit higher, the roads. There is no aids from the government, by the way. Our volunteers are right now making something in Indian called khichdi, like porridge. And they have only one boat that they take the food to these shelters, like roadside. There is no shelter. It's not a civilized country like India, America. It's India. There is no government help right now. So, but I learned to do this social work right here at Brother Kazi's class. At times, I'll like tell him, brother, no more new projects, like I'm tired or whatever. But he will put me straight. He'll say, no, Dina, get back to the work, build this well. Okay, tell me, in Ramadan, how many wells? At times, you know that there was a demonetization in India. That means the government stopped the old rupees and there would be new rupees introduced to the government. So people will be in line for 3,000 rupees per day. And we were still building 2 wells at that time. So mom used to like put 5 people in the line with the bricks to spot their spots, and they will be in the line for like days to get that 3,000 rupees. So it's a difficult life in India. We are so privileged here, and as I said, that I am not very good in dawah. Alhamdulillah, you all are here for that. I am in the social development, but I learned this from Dr. Kazi and Sister Alia. So thank you, Brother Kazi, and thank you, Sister Alia. I am a better person today because of you. And one last thing I like to say, that the heart that beats here, that's not the only thing that makes us human. The heart that beats here and that cares, the compassion for the humanity, that's what makes us human. Thank you so much.
Our last speaker is so kind, so gentle and so sweet that I call it Miss Precious. So there's only one Miss Precious, so I'd like you to come forward and say some words.
تلقاك البدور ضيف الأماني.
My name's Haley, and alhamdulillah, this is my 4th Eid party to come to. So I started my journey 3 years ago. So alhamdulillah, thank y'all for having me. And I just want to take my few minutes to say thank you to all the familiar faces in the crowd today, because that's what makes, I think, everyone who comes to class keep coming back. That's the most important thing, to have familiar faces, and especially the Muslim-born people or the very old converts that not like that. The 30 years. It's so appreciated for new people coming to the class, because without the familiar faces, I don't think people would keep coming. But we do love you, Dr. Kazi and Alia. So that's just very special to all of us, I know. So I look out and see so many familiar faces, and it's very much appreciated. Driving so long, it's difficult for people to get here, but It's the community that makes the class and what it is. So thank you for all the meals, Alia, and all the friends that I made. Okay, so alhamdulillah and assalamu alaikum. Okay.
This is the end of the program, but I would like to just end it by taking 5 extra minutes. Dr. Shama would like to give advice, but 3 minutes, and I will take about 3 to 5 minutes, the last one, okay?
Well, they say that attention span is about 15 minutes long, so I know we've long gone past that, so I won't make mine too long. I'm going to give you all some advice that I actually give to all of my patients and even my students. I'm going to give you the $1 million sentence. Okay, are y'all ready for this? If you take this one sentence away and go home with it and use it in every single aspect of your life from the moment you wake up till you go to sleep, your life will be transformed forever. Okay, ready for it? Da-da-da. So think of someone in your life that you really, really love. Put them in your mind. They could be anybody. They could be your best friend, your spouse, your parents, whoever, a professor. Someone in your life that you absolutely love and adore and respect and admire. Does everyone have them? Anybody not have someone that they absolutely love in their life? Someone? Okay, good. Now, from the moment that you step out of this class and leave, every single thing that you eat, that you do, who you talk to, what time you go to sleep, what you decide to do with your careers, think this one question in your mind. If I were to give the person that I love, that's in my mind, a piece of advice about what they were about to eat, who they're about to talk to, if they're going to pick up that phone, are they going to pick this career choice, what would I tell them? What advice would I give them? The reason this is such a profound question is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to love and value ourselves because we are a creation of Allah just like everyone else. Okay? So for example, I may ask my daughter, who I absolutely love and adore, to eat healthy, but I may make really poor choices to eat, right? Or if she's looking to make friends, I would say, oh, don't be friends with her or him, no. But then I may make that choice for myself, right? So remember that when you love someone and you value them, you will always give them the best advice. Because your natural instinct is to want to protect them, right? You never want them to eat crap late at night, something spicy before they go to bed. You don't want them to become friends with someone who maybe has some bad habits or some things that you think will make them stray away from Allah, right? But yet, we make those decisions every single day. For example, it's time for you to go to bed. You have an early day tomorrow, but you know what? Gotta look at that one last YouTube video, or stay on the phone, or surf the net, or whatever it is that we're doing, right? But if it was that person that we love, what would we tell them? Go to bed, right? So, I always ask my students and my patients this question. What makes that person more valuable than you? What makes that person's health and well-being and happiness and contentment more special and valuable than yours? At the end of the day, we are all creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And who are we to judge that somebody else's happiness and value is greater than our own? By the way, this is all Islam. So the 4 aspects of contentment that I talked about, which is your physical health, your emotional health, your intellectual health, and your spiritual health, are guidelines for which I would like to ask you that same question. So, start off with really briefly, if it's your physical health, if that person that you love was eating crappy, or not exercising, or not sleeping on time, or not seeing their doctor, not getting their sugar checked, whatever it is, you'd be on them. Hey, mom. Hey, best friend, what are you doing? Get up and go work out. I don't care if you're tired. Let's get up and go. Start doing it for yourself. Because our body is an amana. It doesn't belong to us, right? It's a gift from Allah. It's in perfection. Number 2, our emotional health. All that negative self-talk. I always tell people you can cut out all the toxic people in your life. How are you going to cut out your toxic brain that says negative things to you all the time? You can't do it. Just forget it. You're stupid. There's no point. No. But if it was that person that you loved, you'd never give up. You'd keep going. Number 3, your intellectual health, being passionate about what you do. Like everyone talked about, the professor here, being passionate about what you do, seeing everything as a form of prayer. Deen and dunya. The word dunya is actually not even a word in Islam. Everything's deen. Everything's prayer, right? So being intellectually inspired and excited about getting up and doing something that you love is so important. It's such an important part of Islam. And 4th, your spiritual health, obviously. Having a purpose-driven life. I use a simple rule and a simple formula for a key to contentment. Do something for someone who can never ever thank you or pay you back. Try to do that once a week, once a day. It'll change your life, okay? So the 4 keys to happiness, I've already talked about it, but that one piece of advice, from now onwards, if you use it, by the way, you're not going to like the answer you get a lot of times. Because when you're about to pick up that, greasy burger and french fries and you know it's not good for you, and you say, oh, what would I tell my daughter? No, I tell her not to eat that, or I tell my best friend not to eat that. So then you might have to not pick that friend or pick that food, right? Or you may have to go do something like get up and go work out when you really don't want to. So you're not going to like the answer, but you know it'll be the right one. So that's my simple piece of advice. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Mahmood, can you come here, please? Brother Mahmood. Before I give you my advice, there are 3 persons that I'd like to name that be me beyond words to thank first Brother Hassan Ali, who has been my right hand in the class, both giving lectures and bringing all the food. Then Brother Abdul Aziz Sumro is a person who has never disappointed me, and the 3rd is the person that I don't know how to thank him, but before I ask him to finish the salat, the program with Al-Fatiha, I want to give you one simple advice, very simple advice, and remember, go back to Quran. In the Quran, you will see that there are verses which are revealed in Makkah. These are the verses which are addressed to unbelievers, so these are for the faith. Fine, read it. But when you read a verse revealed in Medina, be very careful because Allah is talking to you. Maybe you have not noticed that, but in Medina, the verses are talking you do this thing. Then Allah says something very special. I love this. Come on, stop, listen to me carefully. Did you ever hear that? Did you see that? In Medina, Allah said, do this, then he was, I love this. For example, Allah is describing the believers, those who go to Jannah. I read in English, okay? Allah says so in Al-Quran, these are the person who spend in illness and health, number 1. These are the persons who control their anger, number 2. These are the persons who forgive all, but everybody, number 3. Then I say, I love those who practice ihsan. Come on, man. Go slow. Again and again, Allah will tell you, do this, then Allah will say, I love ihsan. So, on my class, I got the word ihsan is stamped on the heart, mind, conscious, subconscious, body and soul. What is ihsan? Ihsan is to do more than your duty, write it down somewhere. And number 2, ihsan is to take less than your basic right. Number 3, ihsan is to do everything with beauty. Write it down. Allah never asked you to do that. Allah says, I love that thing. But read the verses in verses, and this is expected of you, expected of me, that follow what Allah loves. So what Allah loves to do more than your duty, take less than your basic right, and do both ways. And what is the thing that Allah loves most? Allah loves most that I exalt His name. Allah loves more that I propagate His name. Allah loves more that I struggle for His cause, because the Prophet is not coming back. So I'm going to read the last verse of Ankabut. The thing that Allah will love most is that I propagate His message. And then what the Quran says, chapter last in Ankabut, وَالَّذِينَ جَهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Those who work for my cause, I keep on opening the door for them. Allah is with those persons who do ihsan. This is what I'm telling you. That if you do something for the cause of Allah, Allah will open the door for you. I'm the living example. And then what will happen? that Allah says you will go at the level of Hassan. So never do something Allah by the way. So you want to read something? Come on, listen, let him read. There's a very young boy, he want to read some Quran.
طوبى لمن
حصريا على قناة المنشد محمد المجيد.
نور على مر الزمان تألقا وأضاء للدنيا طريقا مشرقا وهدى من الرحمن يهدينا به للصالحات وللمكارم والتقى. نور على مر الزمان تألقا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. صدق الله العظيم.
Before we complete the program by dua, Sister Farah will tell you what she has prepared and how to go there. Come here, please.
Assalamu alaikum. I wish I could say I prepared something. I did not. You all did. After this program is complete from here, after Brother Mahmood, he recites Surah Fatiha, you all are welcome to come to us to the class that we normally do. Dr. Kazi conducts his class. We have food on two separate tables. If you're facing the whiteboard, the right hand side is for the brothers, the left hand side is for the ladies. And we have divided the dessert in the two tables as well. Unfortunately, there is not enough room in that room for everybody to sit down to eat, so you're more than welcome to bring your food outside in the hallway. We prefer not to eat here, but in the hallway, please make yourselves comfortable. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Maliki Yawmiddin, Master of the Day of Judgment. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. We worship you and we help or seek help from you. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Keep us to the right path. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. The path of those whom you have given the favor, not the path of those who went astray.
يا من أتيت فزدت حبنا
أسعدتنا وجمعت شملنا، أنت هدية من الله لنا، بعد انتظارنا لك طول السنة، فيك السرور والهنا، حمدا لك يا ربنا. عيد سعيد, let's enjoy this happy day. عيد مبارك, come on let's celebrate. عيد سعيد, let's enjoy this happy day. عيد مبارك, come on let's celebrate, celebrate, let's celebrate. Allah, Allah, thank you for this day. La 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 la.
Feeling so good, smiles and greetings everywhere. Eid Mubarak to everyone out there. Whole families they gather and celebrate. Today's the day, so come on, no time to waste. Sometimes the world takes us so far, though miles apart. Today you're in my heart, 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 heart.
Eid Saeed, let's enjoy this happy day. Eid Mubarak, come on, let's celebrate. Eid Saeed, let's enjoy this happy day. Eid Mubarak, come on, let's celebrate, celebrate, let's celebrate.
Ya la la la, ya la la la, la la la, ya la la la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, la la, ya la la la, ya la ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la ya la la. يا لا يا لا يا لا يا لا 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 لا. يا عيد يا عيد الفرح والسعادة، عيد الفطر من بعد شهر الصيام، من بعد شهر الصوم شهر العبادة، بك نبتهج يا عيد في كل عام. يا عيد يا عيد الفرح والسعادة، عيد الفطر من بعد شهر الصيام، من بعد شهر الصوم شهر العبادة، بك نبتهج يا عيد في كل عام. طعم الفرح بالعيد دوم بزيادة، يا كيف بوصف فرحته في كلامي. الله طعم الفرح بالعيد دوم بزيادة، يا كيف بوصف فرحته في كلامي. دم السعد بالعيد يسرد جواده، بلغها لي يا عيد وفي سلامي. دم السعد بالعيد يسرد جواده، بلغها لي يا عيد وفي سلامي، وفي سلامي، وفي سلامي. وداني دن 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 وداني دانا، 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 داني دانا، داني دانا.
عيد الفرحة وغلا فسحة الدين، العيد يا أهل العيد انسل لسانينا، العيد بهفرجة هموم المساكين، العيد لقت قلب والكل صافينا.
العيد ما هو لبس ما قاري للعين، من الثياب الخضر والزرق تلوينا. العيد ما هو قول يا ناس عيدين، ولا هو رمية ورد من باطن يدينا.
ودا فسحة صلى عليك الله يا خير الورى تعداد حبات الرمال وأكثرا صلى عليك الله ما غيث هما فوق السهول وبالجبال وبالقرى فوق السهول وبالجبال وبالقرى يا خير مبعوث بخير رسالة للناس يا خير الأنام وأطهرا نفدك بالأرواح وهي رخيصة ونحارب الغرب الدنيء الأغبرا يا خير مبعوث بخير رسالة للناس يا خير الأنام وأطهرا نفدك بالأرواح وهي رخيصة ونحارب الغرب الدنيء الأغبرا
ما لم يضرك شتمهم وسبابه والله جل جلاله قد طهرا فاسأل صفاء البحر ماذا ضره كلب مشى في شطه وتعثرا لا لن يضرك شتمهم وسبابهم والله جل جلاله قد طهرا فاسأل صفاء البحر ماذا ضره كلب مشى في شطه وتعثرا كلب مشى في شطه وتعثرا
صلى عليك الله يا خير الورى تعداد حبات الرمال وأكثرا صلى عليك الله ما غيث هما فوق السهول وبالجبال وبالقرى فوق السهول وبالجبال وبالقرى صلى عليك الله في عليائه ما صاح داع للأذان وكبرا يا رب صل على النبي وآله ما فاض نبع بالجداول أو جرى صلى عليك الله في عليائه ما صاح داع للأذان وكبرا يا رب صل على النبي وآله ما فاض نبع بالجداول أو جرى
يا رب صل على النبي محمد ما شج جرح في سبيلك وانبرى صلوا على المختار أحمد إنه أزكى الأنام وخير من وطئ الثرى يا رب صل على النبي محمد ما شج جرح في سبيلك وانبرى صلوا على المختار أحمد إنه أزكى الأنام وخير من وطئ الثرى أزكى الأنام وخير من وطئ الثرى
صلى عليك الله يا خير الورى تعداد حبات الرمال وأكثرا صلى عليك الله ما غيث هما فوق السهول وبالجبال وبالقرى فوق السهول وبالجبال وبالقرى للأذان وكبرا يا رب صل على النبي وآله ما فاض نبع بالجداول أو جرى صلى عليك الله في عليائه ما صاح داع للأذان وكبرا يا رب صل على النبي وآله ما فاض نبع بالجداول أو جرى
يا رب صل على النبي محمد ما شج جرح في سبيلك وانبرى صلوا على المختار أحمد إنه أزكى الأنام وخير من وطئ الثرى يا رب صل على النبي محمد ما شج جرح في سبيلك وانبرى صلوا على المختار أحمد إنه أزكى الأنام وخير من وطئ الثرى أزكى الأنام وخير من وطئ الثرى
صلى عليك الله يا خير الورى
حبات الرمال وأكثرا. صلى على